Good, thank you. I appreciate you joining in. All right, we just started recording. We're gonna give everybody their 5 minute grace to jump in. We're gonna get this thing rolling. You know, where you at right now, Shanice?
I'm at home. I'm at home.
Okay,
Just got home not too long ago.
all right, good.
How was your trip?
Oh, it was nice, as you see. Popped the
I
big.
know you proposed. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, bro.
Hey, good looking, good looking. Appreciate it. Let me see if Dukes can come in too. No, hey, you know, like So here go my mom Dukes right here, Kyle.
How you doing, Miss Kim?
She ain't in yet. She joined in like 3 seconds. Is requested, I think. Yeah, she be here in a little second. It's usually take like 2 seconds for her to come. Try again. All right, civil rain with change. Plug on the Congo. I mean, rain. Congo. Roll go forward. All you need is something to go forward. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. All right. We got folks joining in. What's up, y'all? We're gonna give everybody 5 minutes. Everybody make sure y'all got y'all cameras off and y'all phones on. Y'all mics on mute, please. Y'all mics on mute, please. We're gonna get started in 5 minutes. Give everybody a 5 minute grace. We got a special guest today as well, y'all. So I'm excited. We got a special guest coming in. They're gonna talk about how to estimate repairs. What's up, P Wade? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, cuz? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? We're gonna give everybody a few more minutes. So I want to let y'all know we're gonna be doing a giveaway, man. A giveaway, 5,000 leads. We're gonna be giving away 5,000 leads because we reached our 100 members. What's good, cuz? We reached 100 members, so we're gonna be giving away 5,000 leads. And remember, y'all, we can do wholesaling from anywhere. So I might get y'all leads in Atlanta. I might get y'all leads in Florida. I might get y'all leads in Detroit. So it just all depends. But we're gonna do a giveaway for the 100 members that we got. I'm excited. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody's time. We're gonna get this thing rocking and rolling in 3 minutes. We're gonna let everybody hop in. They're gonna let everybody hop in. Yeah. What's up, Janae? Janae's been killing it, winning all the giveaways. If y'all want to know, if y'all want to tap in with anybody, tap in with Janae, the giveaway winner. We got LV. All right. We started to load in. We got 3 more minutes. And we will be doing a giveaway, y'all. We might do it at the end. So you're going to want to stick all the way through to the end. We're going to do the giveaway at the end. I'm going to tell y'all to pick a number between 1 and 100. So if y'all want to start thinking about y'all number, y'all can start thinking about it. But we're going to give away them 5,000 leads between number 1 and 100. First number I see, that's the number that I write down, will win 5,000 leads, y'all. What's up, Axel? You in here, my boy? Yes, sir. Say what's up, Axel, if you can for me, man. Want to make sure you hear.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? What's up?
What's popping?
What's popping? I appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. Got 2 more minutes, man. We're going to get this thing prepped and ready. And if y'all can see my screen, say screen or type screen for me, please. Y'all type screen if y'all can see it. If y'all can see my screen, type screen for me. Oh, screen. Perfect. All right, that's good. Perfect. So we're gonna wait about 1 more minute or so. Let everybody trickle in here. Hope everybody is doing excellent today. I'm excited. It's Thursday. It's week 3. We're gonna go over whether you got a deal or not. So I'm excited because a lot of people have been hitting me up. They've been having some questions. They've been sending me some properties to analyze. So I'm excited. I hope that after this class, y'all are able to really know if you truly have a deal or not. That is the purpose of this class today. And we are recording, so everybody can play this back if need be. All right, I'm gonna get this thing started in about 10 seconds. I know I got a 2 last minute stragglers that just hit me. I'll wait for them to jump in, and then we'll get this thing rolling. All right. We ain't in here in 5 seconds. We're gonna keep it pushing. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. All right, y'all excited, man? Y'all excited for week 3? If y'all excited, can I get it excited, please? I need some interaction, y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna be talking to y'all. I'm gonna need some love. I'm gonna need some energy. I don't want to just be screaming at myself for 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, y'all let me know if y'all excited or not for week 3. Let's go. I know that's right. I need a little horn. So I don't know if anybody can find me a horn so I can press it. That's how I need it. Yeah. I appreciate everybody tapping in, y'all. Let's get it started. We're going to be respectful of y'all time. So let's go. All right. Week 3. Deal or no deal. But before we get started on week 3, I want to do a recap for y'all on weeks 1 and 2 for the people that weren't here. Week 1, we spoke about how to get started in real estate, how you can get started with no money. And if you didn't see that, click on the link in the Telegram or message me on the side, and I'll send you the G drive to the recording so that you guys can tap into that video. It's about an hour long. I go over who I am, why I feel as though I'm deserving of an hour of y'all time, as well as what the Reunited community is. If you don't know, it's right here, a little mission statement. We're going to create a virtual and physical social network for real estate professionals to come and share knowledge and experiences. So we talked about that. We talked about the deal flow of a real estate wholesale deal. And then we gave everybody a little homework, right, ladies and gentlemen? And then for week 2, we went over how to talk to sellers, right? So we went over, now you know how to get started with no money and how you can go out there and get dedicated and motivated. But now then we spoke about on week 2, how to talk to sellers. So we went over call flow. I sent everybody a call flow. If you don't have a call flow, then message me in the chat. I'll make sure we get you a call flow before everything's over. We went over, everything in the call flow. I won't go in depth, but we did a little role play with some individuals, and that is the overview for weeks 1 and 2. So now that you guys know how to get started in real estate and how to talk to sellers, now you guys need to know that once you've spoken to the sellers, once you're speaking to the sellers, do you have a deal or not? So again, guys, my name is Dylan Wade. Y'all follow me on Instagram at purchase.house. Please follow me. I do follow back. So make sure that y'all get with me before I get too famous and too big, because it's coming. It's happening. I see the doors that God's opening and moving with. So let's get it started. All right. So we're going to start with an agenda here. First thing first, we're going to go over key terms, y'all. Some terms that you all should know when it comes to comping and ARVs and how to really tell what the value of a home is. We'll go over that briefly. After that, we'll go over how you get ARV and how you can do comp/comparables. And then we'll go into, after that, a little practice and I'll show you guys and share my screen with y'all how I use free tools, because there's tools that you can pay for like PropStream out there in the MLS that can give you more accurate data. But I'm going to give you guys the free way that I look and see and analyze a deal to see if we really have a deal or not. And then we're going to go into how to estimate repairs. And as y'all can see, we have a special guest for the first time joining us in week 3. And his name is Axel. He's in the Reunited community, and he does construction. He does repairs. That's what he's been doing for about 10 years. So we'll go over that a little bit more. He's going to lead the how to estimate repairs portion. And then we're going to jump into, now that we know how to estimate repairs, do you have a deal or not, right? And it's going to be pretty simple. After that, I'm going to give you guys some homework like always, and then we'll go to the end and go with questions. So, hey, everybody, does that sound good? If that sounds good, do a thumbs up or say that sounds good. I'm not moving on until I see some thumbs up and sounds good.
Sound good. Sound good.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. Let me get something. All right, bet. Let's get it. All right, let's get this thing rocking. All right. So some definitions, some key definitions that y'all need to know. What's that? Is somebody trying to join in? Let me see. 1 second, y'all. I think I got somebody trying to join in. Okay. All right. My apologies, y'all. Okay, cool. So key terms. First and foremost, what is a comp? And I have a video coming very soon on what is a comp. A comp is a comparative analysis, but it's short for comparable. And that is what a comp is. It's a comparative analysis based on the surrounding area data for a given property. So what does that mean? What a comp is it determines the value of a property based on the properties that have already sold in the surrounding neighborhood. And we'll go a little bit further, a little bit more in depth on what the criteria is for comping, etc. So you guys just, if you have any questions on that, drop the questions in the chat on what is a comp. I'll get to those a little later. So again, if you do have any questions, please drop them in the chat and I'll get to them later. I promise. All right. And then we got ARV. ARV is the after repair value. So that strictly means when you're talking to a seller, their home is going to need work, because we're talking to motivated sellers who are in distressed situations and whose homes need work, right? That is what we're talking to, people that homes need work. So their property in its current state or its current value is not really what we're truly focusing on. We want to focus on the after repair value, the value of the home once we make some cosmetic upgrades to it, once we do some repairs and renovations to it. So that is what after repair value is, or short for ARV, right? You'll see that a lot. You'll see that all over the industry. What is the ARV on this thing is what somebody will say. And we'll go over that a little bit more in depth as well when we're comping and when I do a live comp with you all. Then next we have the income approach. The income approach is going to be for properties that are more so multifamily, like apartment buildings or commercial buildings, or maybe rental properties. So with this approach, you calculate the value based on the income it's generating, not based on the other properties that have sold value near or around you. So you would, let's just say the property's bringing in $1,000 a month in rent. You would do 1,000 times 12, divide that by the purchase price, or like what are you guys trying to get it for? And people typically like to stay at about 1% of the rent. So if the rent's $1,000 a month, 1,000 divided by 0.01, they would like to not spend no more than $100,000 for that property. So that is the income approach. Now, the true investors and the wholesalers that are buying using the income approach, they like to get a property at not 1%, but at 0.013%. So you guys got a calculator out in front of you. You can do $100,000 divided by 0.013. And that gives you about, $1,000, divided by 0.013. And that gives you guys about $76,000 or so, give or take, right? So you will want to buy that property for about $77,000, and any investor in their right mind will buy it. So that's the income approach. Then next we have the cap rate. The cap rate, or capitalization rate as they call it, is just the rate of return on a property based on the income it's expected to generate. So whereas the income approach is what it's currently generating, guys, the cap rate is for what is expected to generate. So maybe it has some value add opportunities, some opportunity for some repairs and for you to raise rents. That is going to be your cap rate. So maybe you can raise the rents from $1,000 to $1,300, and that's going to be their new cap rate. And a typical cap rate that investors like to buy at is between 7 and 12%. But 10% is the sweet spot across the board. So I want you guys to remember anything. Remember, 10% is the sweet spot for cap rate, and then 0.013% is what we need to be buying it at. But everybody in the industry is going to say 1%. But we find deals, guys. So we don't want to be at 1%. We want to beat the industry standard so that we can make some money. So we want to be buying at 0.013 of the monthly rent amount. So before I go on, has everybody got that? Is that good? Does everybody understand? Can I get some comments? Everybody say that's good, that's good, that's good. Is that good? That's good. Let me get some comments, y'all. If not, let me know. I'll slow down. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's it, y'all. Only 2 people. We don't got nobody else. We good? I want to make sure, y'all. Unless y'all gonna save the questions for the end. Okay. All right, let's get this thing pushing. All right, so we're gonna go over how to comp and what you should use as a comparable, right? Now, this is going to be key for you all when you are looking at properties and really getting a true value and estimate of repairs. So when you are comping a property or estimating the ARV on a property, you want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges, but apples to apples. So what that means is if you are talking to a seller with a brick house, when you're looking at properties, you want to look at properties that are brick, because a brick house has more value than a frame house. And you guys understand maybe what is a frame house and what is a brick house, right? Well, brick house, I hope brick home like this, right? Brick home like that. Then we have a frame home, which has the vinyl siding on the side. And it looks like this. You'll see it look like this maybe, right? With the siding on there. So a lot of the Detroit houses I know have these, unless you're in like the 8 Mile Asbury Park areas over there. So these are frame houses. So when you guys are comping, make sure you stay within the realm. So brick house to brick house, frame house to frame house. As well as you want to match the bed and bath count if possible. It's not always possible, I understand. But if you can match the bed and bath count, it makes your estimation even better. So if you have a 3-bed, 2-bath, compare to a 3-bed, 2-bath. Not a 5-bed, 1-bath. Not a 4-bed, 3-bath. Compare it to the same thing. Apples to apples, ladies and gentlemen. And then if it has a pool or not, you need to look at that. A pool adds value to a property. It adds typically anywhere between $30,000 to $40,000 depending on the style of the property. So if the property you have has a pool and every property you're looking at in the area doesn't, you can add about an extra 30 grand to the ARV, to the after repair value, to the value of the home. So if you have a pool, add 30,000. If you don't have a pool and everything in the area does have a pool, then you want to subtract 30,000. Okay, and then that is just the basics on comparing the apples to apples, right? Now I want to give you guys the kind of the nitty gritty and what you have to do when you're actually looking on a map and when you're looking at numbers and looking at homes. So what you want to do is you want to stay within a mile, you guys. Stay within a mile of your subject property. So if your property is on, let's just say 8 Mile, do not look at homes on Finkel or on 5 Mile for my Detroit people, right? If you're in Dallas, don't look at a house in Fort Worth if you're looking at Dallas houses. You want to stay within a mile. I personally love to stay within 0.3 of a mile, just so I am more accurate and more on point with my estimation on the property's value, as well as I love to stay inside the same subdivision. So on Zillow and Redfin and a lot of free tools, it doesn't always tell you the subdivision that you're in. But if you have some of these paid tools, then you need to make sure that you can look at the subdivision and match subdivisions. I've had a property where I bought it and I thought it was a deal, but it was in the wrong subdivision. So just because it was in the wrong subdivision, I instantly lost 50 grand on my after repair value. So if you can, you want to match subdivisions as well. And then you want to match the year that it was built in. So if it was built in 2010 and yours built in 1990, you want to knock off about $500 to $7,500 a year for, every decade for that property that it has been built. So if you have a 1990 and it's been 20 years that you're comparing to a 2010, knock off about $20,000 to $30,000, 20 grand or so from the property that you have in 1990. So for every decade, about 5,000 to 10,000, let's call it, for every decade of your home. So if you have a 1950 and you're comparing it to 1960s, knock off about 5,000 to 10,000 from your ARV, just because it's a newer built home. Hope that makes sense. And then next, I want to go over square footage, you guys. So I don't know if everybody still has a calculator out, but let's just say $1,000. 1,000 square feet is the property. When you're comping using Zillow and using these other tools, you want to be within 0.85 and 1.15. So about 15% plus 15% minus of your square footage. So if you have 1,000 square foot home, you want to, at minimum on the low end, look at homes that have 850 square feet. And then on the high end, you want to look at homes that are at about 1,150 square feet. So you want to look at homes anywhere between 850 and 1,150 square feet. That is when you're comping a property. So square footage matters. You cannot be comparing your house to a 3,000 square foot home when it's 1,000 square feet. That is just not how it works. Your house is not the same value. It's not the same square footage. So you want to make sure you're comparing within that 15% range. So hope that makes sense as well, because we'll get to that a little later. And then condition. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. The condition of the property when you're looking at comps. Sometimes on Zillow, they'll still have the old pictures on there or the old description of the property when it was listed. And you want to look at what condition was it in when it sold for this price that we're comparing it to. So maybe your property is in better condition. Say your property is in lived-in condition and it's a tenant inside, but the property that has sold that you're comparing to was vacant with abandoned. It was abandoned with boarded up windows. The grass was tall. The roof was caved in, but it still sold for a certain price. You want to take notes of those things because the condition was different. So you can add a little bit more value to your home when you're comparing it to a property that has less, it's not in its best condition as yours. So if your property is in worse condition, you would do the exact opposite, everybody. So if your property is the bando that has the boarded up windows and then everything over there has kind of been sold in decent condition, in mint condition, then you want to make sure that you are knocking some dollars off of yours as well. And we'll talk about how to estimate how much to knock off once Axel hops on. And then lastly, you guys want to make sure you stay within the last year for comps. Let me let this person in, my apologies. You guys want to make sure that you stay within the last year for comps. The reason being, the market changes. I stay within the last 90 days if it's possible, if I have some sold comps in there. The market, as you guys have all know, has been changing by every 2 or 3 months. So we've had interest rate hikes. We've had more inventory come to the market for the last 60 days. So when I'm comping a property, I don't look at last year, 2021's numbers. I just don't anymore. I look at what has sold in the last 90 days, because what's sold in the last 90 days can truly tell me what buyers are buying at in the market. So if everybody says all the appraisers, all the realtors say stay within a year, stay within a mile. But guys, I stay within 3 months and I stay within 0.3 of a mile. So before I go on, before I get this example, guys, does that all make sense? Does that all make sense? Can I get a yes? Trey's often block the block. How you recommend come by? I'll make sure I get back to that as well. Same mind story. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Stories, yes, as well. But I'll get to these questions later on, guys. I want to make sure we don't run over time. All right, so perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a live example of one. We'll do this property over here in Houston that we bought and sold on 2011 Gano Street. So this house looks like this. And I don't know if you guys can see, but this image was captured March 2022. As I told you guys, always pull up Google Maps and drive the block, see what's going on. And when I saw what was going on, what did I see here? You see this, y'all? That's a huge townhouse that was built. As well as I see that this property, let me go back. I'm gonna show y'all. This property is downtown Houston, prime location. So since I've been in the game for some time now, I know what's going on. In downtown areas, individuals are coming in, buying homes in this condition, knocking them down, and building these townhomes on them. They're building like 4 townhomes on them. So I know that since I'm close to downtown, that that's a possibility. So I'm already knowing that and thinking that, right? So let's go on this property. And I'm going to show you guys how you can use Zillow, a free tool to comp and look at properties. Now, of course, Zillow has a Zestimate, and this Zestimate is 50-50 on the accuracy, right? Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's way off, right? So I said this is saying it's worth about 270, which that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of here, and I'm going to look. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I know where my house is. My house is right over here. I'm in the solds right now. Is this my for sales? Here we go. I've already got it set up. So this is my for sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I'm going to remove it and do it again so you guys can show. So what I do is I do remove boundary. And then what I do is I just draw a line that's about 0.3 around my property, right? And if you can, never cross over major highways. You want to usually stay within the highway boundaries. If you cross over the highway, property values tend to be completely different. So I love to stay within my highway and stay within my boundaries. So my property is right in here. So this is about a 0.3 range that I'm in. So after I draw it around, I'm going to press apply. And what I first love to do is see what is for sale. So what are the active listings that are for sale right now? So I like to see if there's a lot of competition for my property when I'm on the phone with the seller. And then I like to see what are people listing their property at? You know, what are people out there listing these things that are just similar to mine? So I see next to mine, right, because I'm over here on Gano Street, which is right here. I see next to mine, I got a 250. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, let me look at that. And would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? This is a vacant lot. A vacant lot. Ours has a house on it, right? Vacant lot, and they're selling this bad boy for $250. And I'm on the phone with the seller, and I already know now, wow, okay, so I know I need to be below that. And now I know that they're knocking these things down and they're buying these lots for a high price. So now I'm getting excited because I know we're cooking with fish grease here now, right? So I say, all right, so let me look at some more. So I see we got 250 on here. Let me look at this 375. What's this 375 look like? All right, this 375, okay. Same type of style property, same square. Ours is 1314. This is 1364. So if you guys remember, we can use this, and it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, and it's a frame house, right? So we can use this, and it's right around the corner. So what does that let me know? Okay, so let's look at the pictures. I look at the pictures, say, has it been renovated? What's going on with this thing? So yeah, they renovated it, but they did a cheap renovation. Look at the flooring, cheap flooring. That's the 69-cent Home Depot special. This is black appliances. People love stainless steel appliances. Now they got one stainless steel appliance in there. You know, so they didn't spend a lot of money in here. I know that just because I frequent Home Depot and I look, which I suggest that you guys do, and as well as Axel will go into how to estimate repairs better. But I see they just put some vinyl flooring in there. They painted the thing, and they listed this bad boy for $375. Now it's been on the market for 175 days, so that lets me know maybe they're out of their league, right? So you want to look at things like that. Time on Zillow, 175 days. So I know that 375 is a little too high, but like I said, I can compare it to that now. Now, next, what do we have? I believe we have something over here, 315. And what is this? This is, look at this. This home is in terrible condition as well. It's not in the best condition. And it's mint. I'd say it's mint. And they got this thing listed for 315. And it's a 1-bed, 1-bath. And they're just selling it basically for lot value. So I know that. So I'm saying, okay, so this guy wanted 200,000, and these properties are going anywhere between 250 and 375 right now. I can see. So then I look at this. Let me look at another for sale. Oh my goodness. Would you guys look at that? $450,000 for what it seems to be a tear down. And what is a tear down? 6 pictures, and it says property being sold for lot value only. Buyers do their due diligence. So I see that. So I'm getting excited because this guy only wants 200,000. And I'm like, oh, okay. I could possibly work with that. So let's see what this one, 325, another lot. Guys, 6,000 square feet. So I'll look at what our lot is as well. So that's what you always want to do. You want to look at what is our lot before we get too excited, right? What is our lot? Our lot is, and it tells you this on Zillow, guys, 3,600 square feet. So we have about half. That's why I said double lot, right? So I know now, okay, these things are selling for lot value, but they're selling and they're selling fast. Besides the one, of course, that was listed for 176 days. So I look at that first and foremost. Then I might see, okay, what is this, 450? This is probably, we already did that one. What's 390? This one's been redone, it looks like. And they got it for 390. But it's a frame house, 1,585 square feet. But they redid it to the nines. Right, but they got it listed for 389, and it's only been up there for 17 days. And it's got 46 saves. So that means somebody's been looking at this thing. So I would estimate, just off of looking at the first sales, that this property is worth anywhere between 250 and about 350, right? Which is a big range, right? So I want to start dialing it in. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go to the solds. So what I do is I just switch this over to sold. Golly. So I switch this from first sale to sold, and then I go over here to more, and I go for the 12 months, right? So I want to see what's been selling over here. So I look, this sold on 11/12/2021. And it looks like to me it was one of those tear down style properties. They probably bought it, tore it down, and let's see what it sold for. Right? Sold for 200 grand. Right? And what I tell you, this guy wants 200 grand. Right? So I'm knowing he's right at about par of what these things are selling for. But I can use some things in later for leverage for negotiation. So he says he wants 200,000. But all sellers have a dream and they have a wish, and especially in this market. And we never give sellers what they want and what they ask for, especially on the first go round. We're always going to come in lower than they expect and lower than what they want. But I'm knowing that he's right on par, you guys, with what is selling. So let's look at this one, another 2-1. This one looks like maybe it was redone. I don't know. Let's see what this sell for. 423. So I'm seeing what happened was, I love this. I didn't even rehearse this portion, right? They sold it on 5/2/2021, which is a little outside of a year, but they sold it, and I just know because of how done up it looks now, right, on Street View. And I know that this is taken in March. So they sold it in 2022. They sold it for 275, and it needed work. And then they did some work over that 3-month period. And in September, what they do? They listed it for 450. And it ended up selling for 423. And this is a smaller home than ours. This is 1,000 square feet. So I'm saying, man, okay, but I know that the market has been shifting, right? So I can confidently now say, okay, what this one sell for? This one sold for 200,000 just for lot value. I know that if we just knock this thing down, lot value on it is about 200 to 250 based on the ones that have sold already. Right? What did this one sell for? Another lot. This lot sold for 322. You guys see that? So the lots are selling anywhere between 250 to 325 or so. The properties that need to get torn down are selling anywhere between 200 to 250. So now if I can do some repairs on this thing now, I know, and have it worth maybe 325 to 375 on the high end. So that is how I'll go through Zillow and use these free tools. And that's just all right here within this neighborhood. There's a ton more that I could look at, but I don't want to waste you guys' time and ramble on about this. You guys can see what stuff is for. Look, vacant lot, 200,000. So I know that worst came to worst, I could negotiate down with this seller to 160, 170, and I could either list this thing as is for 200, or I could find somebody that wants to buy this for 200,000 all day, as a teardown. Or I could tell an investor, hey, if you make $60,000 to $80,000 in repairs to this property and make it look and spruce it up, I'd say closer to 80 grand. We'll go over that more with Axel. Then you could have this thing looking like the sexiest house on the block, and you can sell this for $375. So what do I always do? We'll go over this later, but I do 375 times 0.75 minus the repairs. And if the repairs are about 80 grand, we're at about 200,000. So we're right on the money. So I know that I want this thing for anywhere less than 200. So we ended up getting this for 170. Right? We got this for 170. I negotiated him down to 170,000, and he originally wanted 200 until he went and saw it, and I told him, hey, man, this is just not going to work. It needs a ton of work or it needs to be tore down. And I told him straight up, hey, properties over there are as a tear down are selling for 200, but I'm an investor. I need to be able to make a couple bucks on this thing, so I can't buy it at your full asking price. And he was understanding of that because of how transparent I was. So we were able to get this at 170, and we sold it at 200,000. So we sold it at what people are buying it for, at 200 grand, right? So before I go on and before I blabble on anymore, are you guys understanding? Can I get another yes, please? Because I know that I just threw a lot at y'all. Yes, 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 cool. And if y'all have any questions, I will circle back to them. So like I said, this is a free way. There are expensive tools for $159.99 a month. PropStream is one that I use, and I use it frequently, and it's excellent, right? Axel, you're about to be up next. So I hope you're ready, brother. You're going to be up next in about 2 minutes. So Axel, if you can, let me know you're ready. Type ready, my brother, before I transition you over. I'm glad everybody's listening and everybody's getting it. Everybody's getting it. Perfect. Axel, you good? You still in here? Yes, ready, my man, perfect. All right, so guys, recap. Draw a boundary about 0.3 miles. Look at for sales. Make sure you're staying within the same parameters. Compare apples to apples, and then go on the sold side. And if you need to go back 12 months, that's fine. If you want to do 90 days, that's fine. You might not have a lot of data, but just use these techniques. It's free. It's a free way. Look, 320,000. This sold for 300 grand. So you see, use these free tools if you don't want to pay the money at first, and you can get a sort of accurate gist of where you need to be, right? And I did that all while I'm on the phone with the seller. Even though I'm not going to pitch the offer at the end, I'm going to tell my underwriting team just to get back to them. But now I know where we need to be at. All right. So perfect. Everybody got that. If you guys need any more practice on comping, get on my calendar, please. My email is purchase@rego.house. I'm going to throw it in the chat really quickly. Purchase@rego.house. Get on my calendar, y'all. DM me on Telegram, and I will go through some more comps with y'all. We can do some practice together. Don't feel shy. I love to do this. So please do it. Who we got joining in? You writers. Okay, so yeah, guys. So I'm glad y'all got that. So let's move on. We got, like I said, a special guest. His name is Axel. He's in the Reunited community and Reunited group. And you guys will never guess where I met him at. I want you guys to know that I practice what I preach. I met Axel at a networking event, at a real estate networking event. He told me, hey, I want to get into wholesaling and I want to learn more about it. So what do I tell you guys? Go out and network. And this guy does construction. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's working on a beautiful property right now out in Hazlet, Texas. So you guys might want to follow him so that you guys can see his work. But this guy is great. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am for Axel to come in here and talk to you guys about how to estimate repairs really briefly. So let's get it. Axel, kick it off, my brother.
What's up? What's up? First of all, I want to thank my boy Dylan for letting me in here real quick.
Yes.
I won't take up too much of y'all's time. I've been doing construction for 10 years, so you know I could get my way through some stuff quite a bit. So one of the main things, you know, if you have a motivated buyer, one of the main things they're gonna look at is, besides purchase price, besides what it sells for, they're gonna look at what's the rehab cost. Always, main one, what's the rehab cost? Because if your numbers are off in rehab, it will throw your whole project to another gear. So one of the main things like Dylan has here is, foundation, plumbing, electrical, roofing, and HVAC. And the other ones is just like light cosmetic. Light cosmetic is basically just, hey, we're gonna throw on some new paint, new flooring, and throw it back on the market. And for medium rehab, it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna have to redo the whole bathrooms, maybe new kitchen cabinets. It just kind of depends how it looks. Sometimes they can get away with just changing the doors and the drawers instead of changing the full cabinets, just to upgrade it a little. And a full rehab, of course, it's a full gut. You're gonna tear down sheetrock, redo foundation, plumbing, electrical. That happens mainly with them. Those houses that you get are distressed properties, which they're like 10K, 20, 30K houses. Most of those are going to be full rehab. Now, keep in mind, these prices are based on right now. So other wholesalers that don't keep up with their stuff, they might tell you, hey, a full rehab is $30 to $35 a square foot. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. That was back 6 months ago. Right now, prices are shot up real crazy. So, just make sure you stay on top. These prices are what they're here in Texas. I know you guys wholesale all over the states. So make sure, like Dylan says, network with people, other wholesalers, other investors, contractors. Like, hey, what are you guys charging for this? And when I first started, I didn't know my prices, 100%. So I would use a lot of Google. Hey, how much? Because we do jobs out of state sometimes. We go to New Orleans. I don't know what they charge out there to make cabinets. So we get, hey, what's price per square foot to install and make cabinets out in New Orleans. Google will tell you everything. And also reach out to other wholesalers, and they will give you kind of a spreadsheet as well on what to charge per square foot. And as you go, you're going to learn, because that's how I am. As you go, you learn. And just keep in mind, just be open mind. Always stay on top of your numbers. A seller is never going to tell you exactly how much the house needs in repairs. They're going to tell you, oh, no, foundation is good, roof is good. And then once you show up, you're like, what the heck? This foundation is terrible. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. They're never going to tell you exactly what the house needs. All right. So if you guys, like Dylan said, follow me on Instagram. My name is Axel It's at Axel Robles with a double S. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me or text me on the Telegram, and I'll be happy to help you guys with it. Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat, and Axel can answer them at the end as well. And Axel, drop your IG in the chat as well, so they can follow you, my brother. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Axel. Thank you so much, man, for that. I really do. So really quickly, guys, just to recap for them. These are the 5 big ticket items you guys want to make sure you're going over on the call. So make sure you're going over. These are about the average prices you want to estimate for. Always estimate worst case if you can. Now, and then this is the price per square foot. Now, what does that mean? If the house is 1,000 square feet and it needs a little light cosmetic, estimated at about $25 a square foot, that's 25 grand you're looking at on the rehab. Do the same for medium, do the same for full. So that is what he means by $20 to $30 a square foot. You just multiply that dollar amount times how many square feet the interior of the home is. So I hope everybody got how to estimate repairs. Let's see what we got. Everybody good on that? Can I type good? Can I type good? Can I type good? When you say full rehab, does that include demo? Yeah, that includes demo, but we'll go over that as well. What's a rehab cost for a house down to the studs? That's going to be a full rehab, about $45 to $50 a square foot. Okay, perfect. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. All right, we'll make sure we answer other questions that we have at the end. Thank you again, Axel, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for joining in and for tapping in and helping me out.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, so guys, now you know how to estimate ARV using free tools. Now you know how to estimate repairs really briefly. And if y'all need to take a screenshot or take a picture of that, I'll keep it up here for about 5 to 10 seconds. Use your phone, screenshot it, take a picture so y'all can have it. These are accurate numbers, guys. These are what numbers are right now in Texas, as well as out in Michigan, I know at least. So take a screenshot of this. I'm going to move screen in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, I appreciate that. So now y'all know how to estimate repairs. Now y'all know ARV. Now let's talk about if you got a deal or not. Not every seller you talk to is going to be a deal. There are times we'll get to the finish line on a call and it's just not a deal. They may be asking for something outrageous or egregious amount of money. You're like, this is just not a deal. That's fine. Now you guys are going to know how to tell if it's a deal or not. And I'm going to give you guys some homework so you guys can practice as well. So this is how you guys can know if you need to lock up that contract or let it go, right? So an investor wants to add value to a property. That's what an investor does, guys. An investor cannot make money unless they can add some improvements or make some improvements to a property. So investors don't buy properties at full retail 100%. Not usually. Of course, in the pandemic, we had a rare time. But they want a property at a discount so they can make some repairs to it so they can make some money. So they want to do what's called a value add or add value to a property. So how do you know if you got a deal or not? Now that we know how to estimate repairs, what we would do is do 75. This is what all investors across the world are buying at typically, right? Is 75% of the ARV. So if you got a calculator out, let's just do 300 and let's just do $300,000 as the ARV times 0.75. That gives everybody 225 is our cost that an investor will want to be in on this thing before any repairs are even made to it, right? Now you want to minus the repairs. Let's say it needs $25,000 in repairs, which is very light. Say it needs a cosmetic, some lip gloss, lipstick. That's it. Lipstick on a pig, right? Let's say 25,000. So 200 grand is what an investor would buy it at. So an investor would buy a $300,000 house at about 200,000. That's about 66%. So Warren Buffett's whole thing is if you can get a property or if you can buy an investment at 60 to 65 cents on the dollar, you're winning. So that is where they want to be at about $200,000 on this sample property. But you guys are probably saying, okay, that's what the investor wants to be at. So how do I make my money? What you want to do is you want to subtract your assignment fee out of that now. So let's say you want to make only 5,000 or 10,000. You just subtract that from that 200 grand that you're at. So let's say you only want to make 5 grand. You offer that seller, you say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, this property fits our buying criteria. We're definitely looking to move forward with this month. If you're looking to sell, where we would be at is we would be for a property like this. We typically purchase these at this amount. And you never, ladies and gentlemen, never, I hope you remember this from last week, give them the amount that you want originally because they always want you to meet them in the middle or come up a little bit. It's rare somebody says yes on the first shot and first go around. So if you want 195, don't say 195, y'all. Say 180. I always take $15,000 to $20,000 off of the price I want to make them meet me in the middle at the price that I wanted originally or that I did want. Worst case, they say no. Best case, they say yes. And instead of you getting a $15,000 or $10,000 assignment, you got a $30,000 to $40,000 assignment. So now you're grinning ear to ear and you're laughing to the bank. So you always want to subtract. So let's just say again, for $300,000 ARV times 0.75, we got 225. Let's say it needs 25,000 in repairs. We're at 200K for the investor's price. Now, I like to make at minimum $15,000 in assignment fee because that is the average assignment fee in Texas. So that gives me 185. So I want to buy this $300,000 house for 185. So what I'm going to tell the investor is, hey, I'll buy it for 170. And they might be at 200 or 210. They might say, oh, well, can you do 200,000? And I'll say, you're really breaking me. You're really killing me here. You know what? Let me run some numbers. Let me get right back to you here. But I've already run the numbers. I already know how high I can go. And I'll say, well, can you do maybe 175 or 177? And then I'll say, and then it's a negotiation game. And we'll go over in later class how to negotiate better with sellers. But then eventually they'll meet you in the middle is what they love to call it. And they might say, hey, I'll do it for 185. I'll do it for 190. And you're like, all right, cool. Quick 10, 15,000 off of a 20-minute conversation. And it's going to take you about 20 days to get paid on the high end usually, right? So that's how you guys can know if you need to lock it up or let it go. So if they're telling you that the property's worth 300,000 and that they want 250 for it and it needs $50,000 in repairs, don't even waste your time. You can let them know, hey, this, what you're asking for is just a little out of our buying criteria right now. If we were to make an offer on this thing, it would be at X amount. Always still make an offer. Always still make an offer. But that's how you guys will know if you need to lock it up or if you need to let it go. You can use this formula here. You can screenshot it. to know, hey, do I need to really move forward with this property and lock it up under contract? Or should I just say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, this is what our offer would be. You know, I know it's a little far off from what you're asking, but I still want to make you an offer because I promised you that on this call. We will make you an offer. We'll get you a cash offer. So here it is. We're at 185. And they're like, 185? You're out your mind. I'll keep it for that price. Which I hear that all the time. Okay, keep it. You know what I tell them? Just so you guys know, the market has plateaued. So that 250 that you think you were going to get 6 months ago, you're not going to get it anymore, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I hope and pray that you do. If somebody comes along and gives you 250, I would take it and run as far away as I can. And I'll tell them that straight up because I'm not buying it at that price. I'm at 185. If you want to mess with me and rock with me and do business with me, that's perfectly fine. Let's do it. But I'm not budging on my price. And a lot of times, you know, it's a volume game, guys. Don't forget that. That was week 1. It's a volume game. So don't get all upset and frown and less motivated because you've gone through the whole call flow. You've been like, man, I'm having a great conversation. And then when you get to the asking price with the guy at the end or the girl at the end, they say they want an outrageous amount. It's a part of the game, you all. It's a volume game. You're going to talk to 1,000 people. Out of that 1,000, you're going to make 1,000 offers. Hopefully, let's just say 500 offers. But out of those 500 offers, only 10 of them are going to get accepted. Or they might say, yeah, I'll do, yeah. 10 of them will say yes. But out of those 10, not everybody's going to close. They're going to have other wholesalers they talk to and build a relationship with. They're going to say, oh, as soon as I got off the phone with you, I called my realtor. So you're going to only close about 1 to 2 out of those 1,000. So don't get upset, guys, when you guys get to the end of the call and they're at an outrageous amount. Keep it pushing. Keep moving forward. But this is the calculation that you guys need to be using to know if you need to lock it up or let it go. Right? And also just know your market. Know your market. Go out, and I always sign up for other wholesalers' deals. I'll go and sign up to be a buyer on one of the big wholesaling companies in my market. Or if I'm going into a new market, I'll join Facebook groups to see what are they selling their properties at. So if I get something like this similar to theirs, I know what I can sell mine for. So use them as a hack. Sign up for their buyers list. Go on their websites. Join the Facebook groups. Know your market. So, hey, that is if you should lock it up or let it go. Now, I hope y'all got that. We're about to go to the questions soon if you guys don't. But that's how you guys will know if you need to lock it up or let it go. Hope that helped. Next, we're going to give you guys some homework. The homework for today or for this week is going to be, I'm going to send everybody in the chat 3 properties. I want y'all to let me know. Y'all can say in a separate chat or y'all can email me if we will lock it up or if we will let it go. I'm going to give you a little scenario on 3 properties. Let me know if you want to lock it up or let it go. All right. So that's going to be the homework for this week. I'll put it in the chat after. So next, I want to open the floor for these last 10 minutes to any questions that y'all have. So I wanted to end it a little early so I can hold everybody's time a little more preciously. So let's go questions. Let's go questions. What we got on the question side? How do you do that with such small numbers in a market like Detroit where properties are only going for 70 to 80,000? I love that question. What's the harm in locking things up? I'm gonna answer this first question. Let's say the property is 80 grand. You still want to follow that methodology. If it's an $80,000 property, you want to be all in 60K at the repairs. If it needs 25,000 in repairs, you need to be at 35 grand for that property. It's just a volume game, my brother. You're not gonna get everybody to say yes. You're just waiting on that one yes. You're gonna get 1,000 no's. You're waiting on that one yes. And my first property, as I tell you guys, I bought it for $2,400, $2,400 in Detroit. So there's still deals out there. The next property I bought after that for $500. So there are still deals out there, y'all. So even though the property values are a little smaller, there's still deals. Don't be afraid to lowball somebody. This is a lowball volume game, right? What's the harm in locking things up? There's really no true harm in locking things up. The harm to me is I wasted my time. You know, I don't like to lock things up. Now that I've been doing this for some time, but when I first started, I was locking stuff up just because I was excited to say that I got a just because I could say that I was excited to get a deal, to get a contract. But you don't want to do that. Because also your business and your company starts having a reputation. Sellers will start posting on Facebook, hey, do not mess with the Reunited LLC because they're gonna say they're gonna buy a property for 100,000 and then they're going to back out at the last minute and say they can't buy it. So you want to have a good reputation. Wholesalers typically have a terrible reputation in the neighborhood or in the community, shall I say. So that's the harm in locking things up. But there's no true harm. It's just on your reputation, right? and in your time. I don't like to lock things up when I know it's not a deal and just because. Right. So when you say full rehabs, that include demo. Yes, so full rehab would include demo, and that would include taking it down like to the stuff, but it'll be on that higher end. It'd be like towards a $50 a square foot. So if you're at like a $1,500 square foot home times about $50, you'd be about $60,000 to $75,000 for that renovation. So y'all got any other questions at all? If y'all got any other questions, drop them in here. I'm gonna go back to the first initial portion as well. Same amount of stories as well, correct? Yes. So you want to see if you can have the same amount of stories. If it's not the same amount of stories, this is for Mr. Brooks here, then you want to just at least make sure that the square footage matches. So it might be a 2-story, but your other one might be a little bit larger as a ranch style, but it's still the same amount of square footage. That is fine. But if you can match stories, please do. These stories often block to block. How do you recommend combating that? For instance, one block can be fully occupied, manicured, and the next can be mostly vacant. That's a perfect question. So you want to try to make sure when you're in Detroit or in these areas where there are a lot of vacant properties that you try to observe the block occupancy rate as well. Great question. So if the property you have is, let's just say I had a property on Schoolcraft and Minnock. The whole property, the whole block was empty. It was only 2 houses on there. But then 3 more blocks down, they were a lot more full. So what I do is I just knock off about $5,000 to $10,000 because I know that my neighborhood or my block isn't as desirable as the others. So I hope that answered your question. But yeah, if it's not as occupied, man, just knock off about $10,000, $5,000 from the ARV. But yeah, you want to know the area, and then join other wholesalers groups. Join other on the Facebook groups to see what are other people selling those houses at around there. And then you can also look on there at and try to find a house that's sold comparable to yours in that same block if you can. Great questions, you guys. These are great questions. What else we got here? Anything else? What does the formula work using on market properties? When do you recommend moving from off market to on market? So the formula works for on market. So I'm gonna show you guys this house that I had under contract over here. What was the address? Meander, 1604 Meander. I'm gonna start sharing my screen with you guys in a quick second. Let's see. Let's see if this bad boy is still listed for sale. Look, it is. I'm gonna show you guys this. I had this thing under contract on market deal, and I still couldn't sell it. Right? It was listed at $450. I put it under contract for $315 just 2 weeks ago, and this thing still couldn't sell. Oh, it says it's pending now at $375. Y'all see? So they must have gotten blessed by somebody. I had this thing it was listed on market at $450 with a realtor, and I offered her $315, and we were under contract for $315, but I still couldn't find an investor to buy this thing. This property is straight up for a retail buyer, somebody that's looking to move from California or New York to buy a home and fix it up and live in it. But I didn't have that in my bag of investors, right? And they probably, honestly, don't have a full $375 asking price. But you can start doing on market properties as well as off market at the same time. Just use that same formula. A lot of the on market properties won't need as much work as the off market properties typically. So you can estimate repairs to be more on the light cosmetic side or the medium rehab. A lot of the off market properties are going to be medium rehab to a full shebang, a full rehab. So that's a great question there. I hope that answers your question. Did I answer your question, Mr. Land? Can I get a yes, sir? I have a few motivated sellers who have made repairs to their homes. Perfect. But they were primarily rentals or they live there themselves. If the seller wants a high price, Axel has a question. Okay, good. Actually, you want to jump in on one of these questions? Go ahead.
Yes. The one, the DIY. I've made my own repairs.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't believe it. I mean, yes, they probably did, but half of the time, I hear that a lot, and when I walk in, I'm like, what is this? Like the paint is shitty. They installed the doors all crooked, trim, whatever it is. Just if they made a repair school, I understand if they said we fixed foundation, I know they can't fix foundation. So, same thing with roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, But when it comes to like cosmetic stuff, like, oh, well, I did some patchwork or we sheetrocked the whole bathroom ourselves or whatever. Like, still stick to your numbers. Don't change your numbers because they said so, Yes, you might have to sometimes, but again, half of the time they say if it's DIY, it's probably you're gonna have to fix it and redo it again. Just FYI.
Yes, no, that's a great point, Axel. I mean, and I've walked into plenty of properties. I probably walked over 200 properties since I've been down here in DFW. And whenever a seller says that they've done the repairs themselves, that typically means it's more work for us to do because they usually mess it up.
Yep.
They usually do the electrical themselves, do some plumbing themselves, and it looks terrible. And then you got to rip everything out, bring it up to code, and it's usually more work for you. Now, if they had some stuff professionally done, then yeah, and you can ask for receipts or maybe some the contractor who did it for them, so you can kind of see their work, and then you can kind of gauge it on that. But I wouldn't always, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. These sellers are trying to get the highest value for their home, which who blames them? You would too. So they're trying to get the highest value, so you can't blame them for trying to negate some things and telling you, hey, I made repairs.
Yeah. Also, quick, as a wholesaler, you don't really need to focus on, oh, I don't know nothing about construction. You just need to know your numbers. Now, if you're a flipper, yes, you need to know what's next, how to do this, how to do that, what's the process. But since you're a wholesaler, just know your numbers. Try to get the buyer or investor as close as you can. No one, even myself, I'm never gonna be on point on my rehab cost. Why? Because numbers, they change. Something always comes up. You tear down a sheetrock, and then behind you, they're smaller or something. That's all extra. You don't see that. So don't stress too much about it. Just as a wholesaler, just know your basic numbers and try to provide the investor with the best rehab cost you can, and from there, let them take it on. If they tell you your rehab cost is off, don't be afraid to sound like a newbie. Tell them like, hey, how is it off? What do you think's rehab cost? All that sorts of stuff.
Great point, man. I ask people that all the time. If they're a landlord or if they're maybe somebody that was trying to buy the property and fix it up and then they couldn't fix it up themselves, I always ask them, what do you have repairs estimated at? So I love that, actually. Yeah, I'll always ask the seller if they have some knowledge. What do you think repairs, what do you estimate repairs to be, or what repairs do you think need to be done to bring this up to its $300,000 value, or to bring this up to what properties in the area that are selling for high value would be? And they'll tell you, oh, you need some foundation, need some roof. That's kind of like a way that you can kind of trick them into telling you what needs to be done to make the property look beautiful. Right? Great question. Is it a good idea to lock it up higher than maybe ideal? I never lock the property up higher, man. If anything, I'll go walk it. I'll say, hey, you say you did some repairs. Let me see myself. Maybe before I lock it up virtually over the phone, let me see if I can send somebody there. Because like I said, I just don't personally like to lock up properties anymore, now that I've been doing this for some time, and waste people's time, waste my time, as well as get a bad reputation. But when you're starting out, you're going to lock up properties too high. It's just going to happen. It's going to happen. So great question. Any other questions, y'all? Any other questions? Don't be afraid. And then make sure y'all still get with me on some office hours, y'all. Please. Please. No other questions? I'll give y'all a couple seconds. Maybe somebody's got something they might be typing. Let's see. What we got? Well, was this helpful, y'all? Can I get helpful? This was helpful? I'm being serious. I need some feedback, y'all. Let me know. I don't want to waste nobody's time here. This is an hour of everybody's time. Time is one thing you cannot get back. Okay, great. And Janae, and I know your partner as well. Y'all have maybe some of the prop streams, some of the more paid tools. Y'all, if y'all got some of the paid tools, and if y'all got some money on threat marketing and things like that, get with me so that I can say, hey, this is how we can use some of those paid tools versus these free tools that we're using for everybody. So y'all, please don't be afraid. Get some time on my calendar, and we can talk about that. Somebody raised their hand. Was that Joe? Joe, you got a question? No? We put the number 1 to 100 in the chat. If y'all ain't forget about that giveaway, huh? All right, cool. Let's get it. 1 through 100 in the chat. Drop y'all numbers in there. We giving away 5,000 leads, y'all. We giving away 5,000 leads. And y'all see we're not giving it to the Telegram because the Telegram people that ain't here, they should have been here. So let's see who's the closest or who can guess the number. We giving away 5,000 leads. Y'all can call, y'all can text, y'all can throw them in the trash. Whatever y'all want. Right? What is it? What y'all got? I'm gonna wait a couple seconds to make sure everybody. Everybody got theirs in? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 14 or so. All right, cool. All right, I think everybody put theirs in. All right. So, y'all, this is the number. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's 26. 26 is the number. So, who we got? We got Miss Kimberly Edie, but she's family, y'all. So, you know what? I ain't going to do y'all like that. You know, so we'll go with the next closest, which would be Mia. You can't be cheating. Gonna put your number in there late. So we gonna do. I think it was Shanice with 37. So 37. What P3 put? What he put? 67. So Shanice, we gonna have you as the winner. You were the next closest, I believe, right? Wait, let's see, right? Let's see. Is it Shanice? 26 minus 37 is 11. And then LV had 26 minus 11. He was off. So Shanice, yes, you won. So y'all, congrats to Shanice Williams. She is the winner of the 5K leagues. Shanice, make sure you get with me after this. Make sure I get your email. And we make sure we can get you the 5,000 leads. And I believe you're in Detroit, right, Shanice? Yes, perfect. I got 5,000 leads for you in Detroit. I think I even got some Southfield. I got some suburbs for you. So these leads have not been called, have not been texted. They've just been sitting in the vault. They've been sitting for about 8 months in the vault. So these are primed and ready. So reach out to these leads via text, via call, however you want to. But I'm about to make sure I email you over 5K leads. Look, I'm about let me get 100. You know something, P3? Get with me after, man. I might bless you with 100 pack. All right? We blessing people, y'all. We blessing people. But y'all, if y'all don't have any more questions for me, I want to make sure that y'all, congrats again to Shanice. Y'all don't have any more questions for me. Thank you again, y'all, for y'all time. And please get on my calendar. That's what the community's for. That is what I'm here for. I want to make sure I can push y'all closer to y'all goal, closer to closing the deal. So we've gone over how to talk with sellers, how to get started. Now y'all know how to know if it's a deal or not. So next week we'll go over how to find some buyers, maybe even how to negotiate. I'm gonna make sure I narrow it down, but you're not gonna want to miss it. Maybe I'll give you some feedback in the Telegram. Let me know what y'all want to hear next week, and I'll make sure that we can adapt and change everything for y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all want to hear next week. If it's not already in the plans, I'll make sure maybe we can do it if we have an overwhelming amount. So thank y'all again for your time. God bless. Finding buyers. Okay, perfect. We'll do a finding buyers. That's what I figured. Finding buyers. Now that you got the deal, we can do finding buyers. All right. Love you too, Cuzzo. All right. I appreciate everybody that came out. I think we had about 15 to 16 people. Thanks everybody for their time. Thank you for spending an hour with me. God bless you all. I will send the recording of this in the Telegram chat. Make sure y'all tell as many people as possible about the community. We're at 100 members. By the end of this 12 week, we want to be at 250, 300. I don't know. God's been moving insane. So y'all just tell everybody y'all know about this, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Peace.